Nothing is particularly hard if you divide it into small jobs. That's what Henry Ford said before he invented the industrial production line. And very much the same applies even to a flat pack furniture from IKEA. If you use a step-by-step instruction, you get rid of all the bits and pieces that you do not need to get started. It suddenly becomes easy, and you will end up with an awesome home remote workstation rather sooner than later. And it's the same with becoming an innovator. If you have a step-by-step instruction how to be innovative, you will succeed. Welcome back to the THNK Club, your place where dreamers, ideators and innovators can co-create together. My name is David, and today we will learn about what design thinking is, how the process works, and how you can apply it to your current challenges that you are facing in those challenging times out there. Before we get started, if you like what you see and hear, please like, subscribe and share below. And if you do have any questions, please post them in the comments. The presentation will take us about 20-25 minutes. And after that, I will reply to all the questions in the comments. Let's do it. There is no lack of ideas in the world. There is only a lack of taking action. What does that mean? For me, it means that I had the idea of the THNK Club, an international community of like-minded, different thinkers that co-create and innovate together. I had that idea about 2.5 years ago, in 2017. And it took me until last year, 2019, to actually get started by running my first live events here in Melbourne. And in the meantime, I had plenty more ideas that I did not realize. So what did hold me back from actually getting the THNK Club going, and what did change right now? Most of the time, it is that we do not know what's the first step, what's the right first step to take. And we are scared of failing. If we do the wrong thing, if we take the wrong step and we fail, what happens then? And that fear and the lack of knowledge how to do it is actually what is holding us back to get started with things. In case of the THNK Club, what changed for me last year, it was basically that all my ideas how to help people to innovate better I found all of those ideas, or many of those ideas, already in the design thinking process. So it was, since the process already existed and it is used all over the world already, I did not have to reinvent the wheel completely. I can basically use 80% of what my predecessors over the last 50 years already developed, which reduced the size of work that I saw in front of me dramatically. So as soon as I figured out, okay, there is something I can actually piggyback on and build on top of it, it became so much more digestible and attainable to actually get started with the THNK Club. And that's what I did then finally in October, November last year. And I think all of you can, I know that all of you can achieve the same things that I did, or get started with your ideas as I did with the THNK Club. Why are we not getting started? Because we're living in our comfort zone. And 98% of us living in our comfort zone. It's very nice in there, it's cozy and warm. And as soon as we really take action, we actually become we become part of a small group of only 2% of the population of the planet that is actually taking action on their ideas and starting to implement them. We would love to increase that number, so get going now. What did change right now is that our comfort zone, thanks to COVID, is already gone. We're already out of our comfort zone. And that makes it so much easier to take that additional step to get started with your own ideas. Because there is nothing comfortable at home right now. You want to get out. So you can use the time that you do not know what to do with yourself at home. You can use that to get your own ideas on the way. And join us at the 2% side where we can make our dreams come true. As I said, the world may never be the same again. There are plenty of opportunities out there right now. The value systems are changing. What we just 6 months ago, what we believed our future going to look like, totally changed. There are great opportunities out there to actually make a difference in the world. As Steve Jobs knew a long time ago, innovation is the ability to see change as an opportunity, not as a threat. Everyone is out of their comfort zones. Everyone needs new services, new products that they didn't desire just 6 months ago. And not all of the big players, or not the big players, all of them can deliver on those requests, desires. So there is a chance for you to get started with your own startup idea and help as many people as possible to get through those hard, challenging times. I mentioned there are a lot of opportunities. There are unfortunately some people or some businesses, industries that are losing, but obviously we know that all online services will come stronger out of this pandemic and this home isolation situation than they've been before. Their health services, obviously, we're pumping a lot of money right now in research, and a lot of countries that are suffering badly under the pandemic, they will put more money into their infrastructure for healthcare, medical devices in the same, online education and training does have a bright future. And is in high demand right now. So the winner industries that we already identified, if you can contribute to them, you will have a great chance for success. The loser industries that we see so far, obviously hotel, accommodation, everything that does have to do with traveling and with outside activity, group activities, is going through a hard time right now. And property is another area where we will see a drop in prices. So those are great opportunities, the loser industries, to actually reinvent those industries in the future and come up with new innovative ideas how those industries can be run, not probably within the next 3 or 6 months, but 1 to 3 years from now. Those are the industries when you want to identify what you can do to make a difference in the world. You can go one level deeper and you can look straight into people, in the desires and the needs of people. Abraham Maslow, US-American psychologist, did that in his research work in the first half of the 20th century in the US. And he is the inventor of Maslow's hierarchy of needs. He defined 5 levels of needs for every human being. To find the little that's confusing, bear with me, it never did this moving thing before. He defined 5. Anyway, we're going with it. What we see right now, the 5 bottom needs are the ones that our industry, our governments are actually calling the essential industries right now. Everything that gives us shelter, keeps us alive, in a very basic way and in a more in a more futuristic way. So we jump over that. Basically, it stops here. That's the part that we have to see anyway. Those needs that we see on top here, love, belonging needs, those are the ones that our governments are currently not taking care of. They're just taking care of keeping us alive and keeping the industry alive to keep us alive. What they do not take care of is our emotional well-being. So if you right now have an idea to help your neighbors, your friends, your families, your co-workers to actually fulfill their emotional needs like friendship, family, intimacy, that's a huge market out there, and you will have a lot of happy customers if you can solve those problems for them. The esteem needs as well, but not so much right now. Focus on love, belonging needs, and you will be on a winner. As we said, innovation only happens when you implement your idea. And innovation only happens when your idea is perceived, your implementation of your idea is perceived as value by as many people as possible. And that's where design thinking comes into play, because design thinking helps you exactly do that. It is a 4 to 5 step process that guides you through understand the needs of your customers, of your users, define the requirements out of your understanding, come up with a lot of ideas and select the 2 or 3 best of those ideas and start building a prototype. And then you can test that prototype with the users that you want to fix the problem for. If you get a good feedback, if the users like your idea, if they would pay money for it, get it out into the market as quickly as possible and keep evolving it. If it turns out that the solutions for the ideas you came up with are not that suitable to serve those needs of your clients, back onto the drawing boards, review your ideas, evolve them, and go into a second round. The beauty of the process is that it guides you step by step through it, and it helps you that you do not get stuck in the ideation phase. It pushes you to actually build something that can be tested with your target audience, with your target customer. First step of it, which we will talk more about in the next video next week. It's not about you, it's about them. Empathy is the ability to identify and understand the other people's emotions. When we really want to develop, design, and implement products and services that our customers love, we have to understand how we can change their emotions. We're looking at their bad emotions like fear in these times, fear, anxiety, and we're looking into products and services where we can help our customer and clients to transition from fear and anxiety into security, safety, happiness. It's all about them, it's not about you. So we have to listen with empathy. More about that in the next video next week. After that, after we understand the customer needs, we go into ideation. And ideation is about getting ideas out there. We do not judge ideas in the ideation space. We just collect as many ideas as possible. And we collect as many ideas from many different backgrounds as possible. I used to be an engineer. When we brainstormed ideas, we had a room full of engineers, all from the same background, at least after a while. So we often came up with exactly the same ideas that we talked about 1 or 2 years earlier, because that was in the back of our minds. If we would have invited people from other industries, from other business parts of the business, accounting, manufacturing, and all the other departments that we had in the business, we would probably have come up with much more ideas if we would have allowed them to flourish in this environment. So when you ideate, don't shut people down, don't judge, don't say no, don't say but. All the ideas are welcome, all the ideas are equal. And when you say stop, to the ideation process, that is when you actually start judging the ideas, valuing the ideas, validating the ideas, and selecting the 2 or 3 ideas that are most likely to have success. And then we build prototypes, and we often we often think that prototypes are something big and complex, and it will take us ages, and it requires a lot of money to get prototypes that we can test out to our clients. But that's actually not the case. A prototype can be something very complex, but you do not have to start with a complex prototype. You never should start with a complex prototype. You should actually start with a prototype that it is as simple as possible. Test it quickly and learn from it and improve the design. So in 3 weeks' time, we will talk about different levels of prototyping, from low fidelity to high fidelity. In low fidelity, you pump out quickly and you test quickly. And such a low fidelity prototype could look like this. The lowest fidelity prototype basically is a drawing, is a sketch. And the next level would be a series of sketches where you can actually test, try, go through a sequence of interactions with your client, with your customer. We're talking about testing and different technologies of testing in 4 weeks' time. There are interesting, exciting things happening in the software or web application space with non-code tools where prototypes, actually functional prototypes that you can distribute over app stores, you can build them in just a couple of days or weeks or 1 week. And we will learn more about that in 4 weeks' time. We mentioned it earlier. This is not for you just to listen. If you just want to watch and listen, that's fine. But we also want to give you the opportunity to take action and work on an idea. You might already have an idea. You might not. It does not matter. We just want you to get going with using the process and applying the process to something that you're passionate about. So your first challenge for this week is to identify one current problem that you would be passionate about finding an innovative solution for. Define the person that does have this specific problem and create a persona for that person. Wait a second for me, we will get to what a persona is in a minute. What I want you to do is, when you come up with an idea, post it on in our Facebook group, the link is below, and share it with our community. If you do not have an idea, post it there as well and let them know that you're happy to join any team that wants to work on an idea to solve a current problem. But all the communication and all the work, the collaboration at this point will happen via the Facebook group and the Zoom calls that we're going to have on Thursdays from now on. So find a problem, define a person that does have this specific problem, and create a persona. What is a persona? A persona is a short profile of your ideal client. And to keep things simple, start with just one person and give that person a name. It doesn't have to be a real person. You can make stuff up, which might probably be a wise idea since we're going to share it sorts of on Facebook. So change the names of your persona if it's based on a real person, and create a profile with a name, with an age, and their main target that they're working on right now, a picture and a typical sentence, a typical statement that they would say. Demographics, the boring stuff if you want so. The more exciting things, how is that persona behaving? what does he or she like, or what they are looking for. And most important, what stresses them, what causes negative emotions in their daily life. That's a persona. I will distribute the presentation within the next hour after this YouTube live, so you will have access to this template. I will also post a link to a YouTube video, not one of mine, in the comments below, which is a good introduction, a 10-minute video to personas, how to create one and what is it good for, and goes into good detail. And yeah, if then after you created your persona, just go for it and post it on our Facebook, in our Facebook group, and let's get talking.